1775. So what that means is that we were at war for a year and 3 months before we declared independence. Independence was declared in this room on July 2nd, 1776. So we are not celebrating the decision day. The day that we celebrate is the day that they adopted the statement that Jefferson had been carefully producing, which has 27 complaints on it. Now, the most famous complaint is taxation without representation, but we have 27 complaints altogether, and some of them are pertaining to the courtroom. What happens in the courtroom during that time period? You could be shipped to other locales, so you are being deprived of a jury of your peers. Anyway, there's a long list of complaints, and there's a long story behind the document. So they stop editing the document in this room. They adopt it on the 4th of July. They send it to the printer that day. He typesets in Congress, July 4th, 1776. It becomes the official birthday of the United States. So that's why we celebrate the 4th of July. So what's really cool about that is that means that we're not celebrating the decision so much as we are the mission statement, right? The Declaration of Independence is explaining to the world why we're doing what we're doing. And it also has some very deep philosophical thoughts that were adopted by the representatives of the brand new country. So we are going out there and we're saying, we believe that all men are created equal, that we're born with unalienable rights, we are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And this becomes a contract with the people of the United States that we are challenged to live up to every generation. We look at the Declaration of Independence all the time. You know, imagine if it just said we are declaring independence from Great Britain. We wouldn't look at that at all. But it has this whole other legacy. And the legacy of this building includes visits from Frederick Douglass, who was an escaped slave, making a speech against slavery out here in the yard. It includes Abraham Lincoln raising the flag over the building and saying that everything he does politically can be traced back to the Declaration of Independence. Susan B. Anthony reading the Declaration of the Rights of Women in front of Independence Hall. I will go on. I'm going to stop that list right now, but the legacy obviously is very rich and very challenging. Because it's one thing to say all these great ideas, it's another thing to try to make them a reality. Now, they realize that they need some kind of agreement to function as a country now that they've declared independence. So you have 13 disorganized colonies who don't get along and don't trust each other, forming the loosest kind of government that you can put together. It's called the Articles of Confederation. And you may have studied history and you know, okay, they didn't have the power to do this or do that. I think the biggest, most serious problem is that if you wanted to change the Articles of Confederation, every state had to agree. So do you think women would have the right to vote today if every state had to agree? Maybe not. I mean, it might still be like something that we were trying to get. Anyway, in this room, after they've declared independence, and they win, right? We win independence. It was amazing. We're talking about a very disorganized effort that became organized. One that was led by someone who had, you know, George Washington is an amazing leader, but sometimes his instincts in the field were not fabulous. He would throw the entire army at a situation in, like, say, New York. And he was advised, no, don't do that, because if we lose that battle, we lose the war. So he learned to kind of strategize. Eventually, we were very lucky that the French and the Spanish and the Netherlanders and people from, you know, individuals from all over Europe decided to join in and help us out. And the American Revolution is just a small part of a global war that was going on. So, ironically for England, to pay for a very expensive global war that took place in the 1750s, they found themselves in another global war in the 1770s and 80s. And by 1781, guess what they wanted to do for us? 1781, they were more than happy to give us representation in Parliament. That was what started the whole thing. Because they see, whoops, the French are here, the Spanish are here, we're in trouble. But the Americans realized by 1781, we're doing good, and we're probably going to make it. And as a matter of fact, right down this street, you have the combined French and American forces marching down George Washington, standing on the stoop with Rochambeau and watching their troops march right down the street, impressing everyone with how much power we now have. So anyway, yes.